Yo, it's your boy Logos, and we have another Reddit advice post that we're gonna react to. Give my first reaction to it, and of course, gonna follow it up with some commentary and a little bit of advice on my own from my own perspective. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. All right, here we go. Okay, so a 25-year-old, it doesn't say the person's gender, hooked up with a female professor who is 40 for grades, but she just deceived me. Okay, it doesn't say the gender of the two people involved except for the professor. I'ma just assume it's a guy. Get mad all you want. I don't give a fuck. Alright, let's go. I, the 25-year-old, I am doing my master's, and my last semester, due to some personal reasons, I had very low attendance and low scores in quizzes and seminars in one particular subject. It was taught by a female professor who is 40 years old, who was most notably probably a divorcee. So she was previously married, but she got a divorce. During my low grades, one day I went to talk to her in her cabin, I guess her classroom, about my grades. And during that conversation, she told me that she would look into this and then we exchanged our numbers. The next day, I received a call from her asking to meet in a restaurant, and I went there. During our conversation, we came to a deal that if I slept with her only once, she would help me with increasing my grades. That day, we went straight away to our home and hooked up. After that, we made a deal that she would raise my grades, but after a few days after the exams, once again she called me to her house, but I declined it, and I think this pissed her off. After a few days, when the results came, I was shocked to see my grades was exactly the same, and I had barely passed the exam. You should have fucked her, huh? She did not keep her word, which was after we hooked up that night, she would change my grades, but she did not do anything at all. Now I feel like I was deceived, and I cannot do anything about this. Is there any way in which I can fix this? Let me see if there's anything else. Is there any way in which I could get even with her? Well, to answer your last question, I don't think there's anything you can do to get even with her, unless that involves you making yourself like a public pariah and being known on campus and in the neighborhood, maybe in the city. Shit, if it goes big enough, even nationally, as having this crazy affair with a professor who deceives you about grades and stuff after you didn't want to hook up with her again. So if you really want to get back with her, you could make it public and go to the dean or whoever about it. But you're gonna definitely put your name out there, I think, eventually over time. Unless they decide to make this like just a closed campus thing to save their credibility. But either way, you're not gonna look good. It's not gonna be like an easy just you tell on her and you wipe your hands clean of it. Nah, there's gonna be some follow up to it. You're gonna be in some stress and some bullshit over the shit you got yourself into. So I would advise, I don't know, you say you barely passed the exam and your grades were exactly the same. I'm not sure if you're saying that you fail or you pass. You say you passed the exam. You say you barely passed. That all I hear is pass, so like you passed the exam. I'm not sure if you're saying your grades too affects you passing the class in of itself, like you need it both at the same time or not. Because I know there are some classes like that. Like, it don't matter how good you're doing the final exam. If your ass can't complete all the other assignments and the essays and other discussion shit they want you to do, it don't matter how good you be, you're not going to pass the fucking class. That's why you shouldn't skip every fucking class that's in person and then just show up to the midterm and the final exam and just pass it because you already know the shit. Sometimes it doesn't matter that you already know the shit. You could pass the final exam. It matters that you show up and that you can actually contribute and do shit. Like, I know that's just a college thing. So I really don't think like there's much you can do, and I really don't think it's worth doing anything at all if you actually did pass the class and she didn't make you just straight up flunk it and fail it. because you say you pass the exam. Like, as long as you pass the exam, I guess that's good enough. But you're in a master's program. You could have a grade or a GPA requirement, and if your GPA dip low enough, like you may not get your master's degree, or fuck it, you might try to get your doctor's degree after you get your master's. And if your GPA too low, it's gonna make it hard for you to get in like a follow up school like law, medicine, or anything like that. Or if you do, you're gonna pay more in tuition, or it's gonna be hard to get scholarships. So I can understand why you're upset, even if you don't end up failing the class. I really don't see much in what you can do because you don't have your conversations recorded. You did this in a restaurant, public restaurant. You could say like, "I'll get the video from the fucking owner if he'll fucking give it to you," and not a cop. But I highly doubt they got microphones under the table, so just because y'all met doesn't necessarily mean you had disagreement. Especially if your grades the same. Like, it could just say y'all met, just try to discuss like the exam and give you some help or some shit. That shit may not be allowed, but that shit a lot better than fucking you to get your grades up, and she made a deal like that. That makes you look more like a liar than it does make her look like corrupt or evil, if you know what I mean. Like, just because you can make her look bad doesn't mean like you can make yourself look good enough to get your grades up. Especially when you didn't even do the work to earn in the first place. You try to solicit a deal through your professor to get the grades artificially and unearnedly through having sex with her. So if you go to the dean and explain that to him, you're not gonna look good yourself. There's a chance, that he'll listen to you and he'll want to investigate and bring down consequences on that teacher or professor. But that doesn't mean you're gonna pass either. Fuck it, honestly, like, boy, if you end up doing that, that really could fuck up like your like future, because that's gonna put a stain on your record. Even if that shit not known to the whole public, I'm pretty sure that shit gonna get known around the department. It's gonna be a stain on your record. It's gonna be a stain around the people who are gonna try to move up in your field, or the people that's within your area of study. That's a professor that's in your area of study, and you're going for your master's degree. I'm just gonna assume that with whatever field that you're trying to get your master's in, that professor, that woman, is tenured, or she's known, or she's some type of staple within that field of study at your university. So you having this thing with her is gonna be known, and that's gonna stain your record, even not academically. It's gonna do it public. It's gonna do it like reputation wise. That's what I mean. So if you want to really get back at her, you're gonna be risk like your future, your name, your reputation, your record, regardless, because you tried to get this shit done. You agreed to it, first of all. Like, no matter how you say, like she said at first, you agreed to it. You was on to accept the grade that she gave to you if she didn't try to pull the shit that she pulled that led you to go on Reddit. So you going out there and trying to out her is gonna really look good on your part. You're just gonna only thing you're doing is making sure she burns down with you. But I think the burning that you're gonna suffer from everybody finding out what you did is gonna be a lot worse than the burn that you're suffering now from barely passing this exam. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I understand, like, masters takes a lot of tuition to classes and shit. Like, I know because I got my master's degree, but like, is that I'll highball it with your ass. Is that $5,000, $10,000 worth of tuition worth your reputation for how long, how many years, decades, but not field of study you're going for your master's in? Like, I don't think so. I would just eat that L. Don't do that shit again. Fucking study. Fuck, like, if you can get that class again with a different professor, I would definitely do that, because she might still have it out for your ass after not wanting to fuck her again. She might rank some shit where you gotta keep fucking her. She gonna keep fooling your ass no matter what the fuck you do. And no matter what you do, you're gonna have to out yourself to out her at the same time, even if she's trying to fuck you over in the second time you take the class. You fucked up by putting yourself in this position. I would just shut the fuck up, take the L, and like hope to get that same class with a different professor. See if your credits can transfer over to another university. Like damn, like really, like depending on how small your program is, you really might have fucked up because if you have to take a class again to pass, because you didn't pass this first time because she fucked you over, you got to take the chance of not screwing you over the whole semester. She always screwed you over in the most important part of the whole class, the final exam. So why not screw you over in discussions, the assignments, all that shit from the jump? Yeah, she gonna risk her reputation, but I don't know. She risked her reputation by agreeing this deal with you. You don't want to underestimate what she'll do. That's how your ass end up arrested on the first place. You thought her ass would agree to the deal. You just fucking agreed to it. You didn't take no precautions to cover your ass in. Here you fuck you are. So like, that's my advice. I always say just take the L. If you fail the class, take that money and just eat it. Don't risk your reputation. Try to transfer your credits over to another university, even if you gotta do it online or whatever. I don't know where the fuck you live, how big the city is, where you can do the same class somewhere else or close by. But that's what I would do. I wouldn't try to go to war with her over this. Just learn your lesson from this and avoid her at all costs because she can't fuck you over with this over time, depending on how small your program is and how small your field is. Whatever you fuck you do, I wish you the best because yeah, you kind of fucked up. You're a young dude, but yeah, you should just fucking study. And don't do no fucking Adderall to try to fucking make up for this shit. Just fucking study, nigga. You want this shit bad enough to do a master's degree, you can pull this shit out of your ass without fucking her. Alright, it's your boy Logos. That's all I gotta say. I'll see y'all next time.